Day one of the Arnold Classic is done and dusted, and of course the big question everybody had going into it is how many times will Evan smack himself in the head with his smelling salts before giving himself concussion?
I just want to see Evan feeds off.
Now obviously I'm joking, the big question was will Hathor Bjornsson pull 501 kg? And as we know, he didn't manage to do it. But before we talk about that, let's just take a look at all of the results from day one. First place we have Mitchell Hooper on 27, then on 23 Lucas Hatton, 22 Hathor Bjornsson, Austin Andrade in 4th on 19, Evan Singleton on 18, Trey Mitchell 17, Bobby Thompson on 13, Tom Stoltman down in 8th on 11, Nick Guardione on 8 in 9th, and Maxime Boudreau rounding it out with 6 points in 10th position. Now, Thor failing the 501 kg deadlift isn't really something that needs to be talked about all too much. It was a very big ask, and there's people online acting as if he's tried to sell them big dick pills and they're really mad at him because he lied to them. He didn't lie to anybody. He thought he was going to pull it. A lot of people, including myself, thought that he could pull it. He's not lied. He's sold it to people because he believed he can, and I still believe he can. If he had a suit on a deadlift bar in competition, I think he could pull 501. I think he could pull more than that. This is a raw deadlift. You've got to remember that. And to pull 501 kilo raw isn't something that's just a given just because somebody said they're going to do it. So if you're one of these people thinking that, oh, Thor's awful because he's told everyone he's going to do it, then you're just an idiot. Graham Hicks did the same thing for over a year with the 505, made everyone believe, and then he didn't pull 470. And I don't hold that against him, and nobody should hold that against him. It didn't go right in the day. He didn't manage to do it. It's just one of those things. We all say we're going to do things, and then actually it turns out we can't do it. So let's move on from that. Another thing to do with the deadlift is that Mitchell Hooper showed he is the second best puller. In my predictions, I had Trey above him. I had Austin Andrade above him. And then I had him mixing it with like Bobby and Evan Singleton. But he pulled 991 for his second lift, and it looked like an RP8. To tell you the truth, it didn't look that difficult at all. Bobby Thompson coming in, I think, what did he pull? 986, I think it was around there. I think he got third place on this. It was either him or Trey got third place on this event, but Bobby's showing everybody that he's still one of the best deadlifters in the world and not to count him out. So well done to him. Bit of a shame for Tom Stoltman. He only pulled mid 800s. I think it was 861, and then I think he failed 901. I would have expected to see more, to be honest. I thought he would have at least pulled the 901, but he didn't. To be honest, it was a good group of deadlifters. I expected him to come 8th. That's where I predicted him to come on that event, and he did. Nick Guardione, I think he didn't have enough rest time because he had to follow himself. I think he would have got that pull if he had just taken a little bit more rest. Obviously, Maxime Boudreau failed a 751, which I think was a PB attempt anyway. So, but it is what it is. Second event of the day was the overhead medley. 113 kilo circus dumbbell, 125 kilo natural stone, and then a 195 log or a 175 log, obviously the Austrian oak. Any amount of reps will be any amount of reps on the light log. You know how it works. If you've watched it, then you know how it works. Lucas Hatton was absolutely incredible on this event. Honestly, that was iconic. Watching him do this was absolutely iconic. I think that's going to go down in history. Like, in years to come, when people look back on Arnold Strongman competitions, that's going to be in the highlight reel, because Trey managed to do 3 as well, but the way Hatton did it was just so impressive. It just looked incredible. It looked absolutely incredible. Trey looked really good as well, but like I say, just didn't look quite as comfortable. And I don't think it helped that he came out after Hatton. Hatton was the first person to do, I think he was the first person to do a single rep on it. And I think Tom Stoltman went before him, got a rep on the 175, failed the 195. He was close to getting the 195, but he pushed it so far behind his head and just failed it in the end. But I mean, well done to him for dropping down and going for the 175 just to secure a few more points. The stone seemed to catch a couple of people out. I know Bobby didn't manage to get past the stone. Don't think Maxime managed to get past the stone. I don't think he did. Caught a few of the women out as well. Women's competition is, I'm not doing obviously a review of that, but the women's competition has been really good so far. If anything, I've enjoyed that more. Mitchell Hooper played it very smart, obviously came out second last, knew what he needed to do. That first clean, honestly, I don't know if he's some sort of contortionist, but the guy's running up behind him, ready to try and save him, which obviously was never going to happen. But the way he was bent back with that log, oh my, I had to look away. And how he managed to get the rep after that, I will never know. But it's testament to what a champion he is, to tell you the truth. To fight through that clean and then still get the rep was incredible, and he decided to call it there after the one rep, knowing he's not going to get the 3 and believing that Thor isn't going to be able to beat him with getting a rep on that anyway. And he knew he'd had a faster time than Austin Andrade, so he was like, you know what, I've secured 3rd place on the event, I'll take it. Thor came out last, knew what he needed to do. He did dumbbell really good, stone strip pressed it, looked really strong. I believe he had a rep in him on the 195, but he knew if he hit 2 reps on that lighter log, he's going to get 5th place, which in terms of a pressing event, very good points for him. I think he knew that he wasn't going to be faster than Mitch getting the 195, and even if he was faster than Austin Andrade, he risked missing the rep on the 195 for 1 more point. So did what he had to do, but he did keep looking over at the big log like, I want to go lift it. Didn't lift it in the end. Bloody motorbike outside. Fuck off, man. I will try and make sure it doesn't, you can't hear it. Then yeah, the timber carry. I think it's weird to say this because we had quite a few people finish, but I think the performances were slightly down on what they could have been given the max deadlift and then the very heavy pressing event, because it's very back focused, having to get the dumbbell up, clean the dumbbell, clean the stone, clean the logs. Obviously some people didn't get to the log, but you need a lot of back strength, and it's quite a quick turnaround as well, really, like to go from your max deadlift through to your what's pretty much a max attempt of overhead pressing and then onto this timber carry. So I think we could have seen more people finish if it wasn't for them first 2 events beforehand, but still a pretty good event anyway. I think Lucas Hatton again did a really good job, secured 2nd place on this event. I believe he secured 2nd place on this event. And he got 10 points there. He's on 23. He got 10 points there. And he got 9 points on this, so 19. Yeah, because he came out after Tom Strongman, so he got 4 points on the first event. So yeah, he came 2nd place on this behind Mitch. Really impressive. I wasn't sure how good he was going to be. I know he said that he's pretty decent at it, but just looking at the build, you can't expect him to have the best grip in the world, but you know what? He did really well on this event. Evan had a good run as well. I think that's the first time he's made it to the top. A little bit slower. I don't know if he had to repick it. I think he might have done it all in one. I can't remember off the top of my head, but either way, I think I've been really impressed with Evan throughout the entire competition so far. I think his deadlift was really good, mid-pack. Unfortunately, obviously didn't have the best showing on the overhead medley, but I was sat watching it with my girlfriend and I said to her, like, he's not going to get this log because he's just too erratic. I find, right, obviously I'm not the biggest log lifter in the world. I'm not the biggest presser in the world, but the same things apply, okay? I find that when I do an overhead, I have to stay a lot calmer because if I'm going, especially on a log press, if I'm getting the salts in, I'm getting angry, I'm getting all ready for it, as soon as that log hits your chest, you've expended so much energy and you just can't breathe. And you start going lightheaded. Especially if you've had them salts and you look up, all of a sudden you're looking up and you're like, oh, I don't know where I am. And that's what seems to happen to Evan a lot of the time when he does a log press. He'll get it there, he'll go to press it, he'll drop it and he's wobbling. I think he just needs to stay a little bit calmer through these events and allow the anger and everything to come out when he starts pressing it. Then get through it. Because he could do so much better. I think he's got the potential to do 1 rep on this log. The strength is definitely there. I just think he needs to calm down, play it better, and he'll do really well. But it's Evan Singleton. We love to see it. I don't know. I love to see it. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't like it. It's WWE. Fucking get a life, mate. The guy's having fun. He's an entertainer. It's an entertainment sport. That's what people pay to see. He's a T-Rex. Fucking get over him, man. Obviously, a few of the other guys finished and a few got really close as well. Nick Cardione, bless him, was so close. I've been impressed with Nick, to be honest. It's his first one. He's smaller than a lot of the other guys, and deadlift isn't his best event. I know his pressing is pretty good. I think if he managed to get through the first two, I think he could have got maybe one on the lighter log, maybe not one on the 195, but timber carry was so close to finishing. Obviously, he trains with Austin Andrade, who did finish this. I think they did give him a time in the end, not a distance, which I think would have been really harsh. But Austin's obviously been really good. I think that in a year's time, Nick Guardione is going to be really good. I think World's Strongest Man, I think he'll do well there. I think he's probably more suited to that style of competition. Anyway. Oh yeah, it's crazy as well that Mitchell Hooper had a drop on the timber carry and still won the event by 2 seconds. I don't know what they put in the water, but probably a lot of PEDs. To be honest. No, he's obviously genetically gifted. They obviously take PEDs, but again, that's something that pisses me off. People like, oh yeah, but look how many steroids they're on. It doesn't really matter that much. I've never taken steroids, but I know people that have. And believe me, they're not World's Strongest Man. They're still working on a construction site. They might be a bit bigger, they might be a bit stronger, but you can't just jab yourself in the arse cheek and expect to be the strongest man in the world. That's not how it works. If you think that's how it works, then you're a fucking idiot. Anyway, a few of the talking points from the day. I think that Tom has been very disappointing. This guy, right, needs to stop making montages before competitions and then turning up and being absolute dog shit. Absolute dog shit's maybe a bit harsh. He was very close to the deadlift, showed a good grind on it, very close to that log. But he should be getting these. He's been saying that he's prepping really hard, he's coming to win. If you're coming to win, you need to be getting these things. And then the timber carry, he's done this event before. He's done the timber carry before. He should know how to pick it up. He was like the only athlete that picked it up and was all wonky and awkward. Like, obviously Trey didn't manage to pick it up. That's a whole nerve issue with his finger and everything. That's a grip issue. Bobby, again, struggles to pick it up. Again, a grip issue. Tom picked it up, has the strength to pick it up, but just can't get it right. And he's like, oh, yeah. You can make... Right. He's 3 times World's Strongest Man. And he's a very good strongman. He's definitely stronger than I'm ever going to be and than a lot of people are ever going to be. So, me sitting here on my sofa after I've been to the gym strict pressing 60 kilos and criticising him, it seems a bit stupid, of course, but I watch the sport, I'm a fan of the sport. I can criticise him if I want to. He should know what he's doing. Okay? He should know what he's doing by this point. Like, you can make training footage look a lot better than it actually is. It's quite simple. I say this, and again, not in like a nasty way, because I think he's a very good competitor, and I think this guy I'm about to speak about is a very good competitor. I think someone like Shane Flowers, he's obviously very strong, he's obviously very good, but his training always looks absolutely incredible. But it's his own kit, in his own gym, with his own rest times, and then a lot of the time, his competition, although he does very well, and I'm not saying he doesn't do very well, but his competition doesn't look as good as his training looks. And that's expected. That is expected to an extent. Of course it is. But you can make your training look better because, like I say, it's your own gym, you've had your food, perfect conditions, exactly how you want it. And that's not digging out any competitors or anything like that, because they train very hard, they compete very hard, and they're great athletes. But if you're saying you're going to come and win this show, there's been so much talk about me not winning these big shows, and now I'm coming to prove it to everybody. Come and fucking prove it. Come and fucking prove it, man. You're talking on social media, you're putting these videos out like, oh, I'm going to come and win the Arnolds. You're obviously fucking not. You're obviously lying, aren't you? Like, that is a lie. Thor's not lying. That's a lie. That's actually a lie. You're saying that you've been training. You've obviously not been training really hard because you're capable of doing this. You're 100% capable of lifting the weights that are in front of you. But you're not putting in the work to make it so that you are capable. Seems to me he's had maybe 6 to 8 weeks training camp to try and get ready for it. He's got to a point where he's pretty strong, especially in the gym. But when it comes to competition day, he's just not quite there for it. He's not peaked. He's not ready for it. But that's just, that's my moan for the day. And on the flip side of that, you got Mitchell Hooper. who he's said many times that there's many different versions of different athletes that turn up to competitions, but there's always only one Mitchell Hooper that turns up and does the same thing every time. And he's fucking right, man. He's fucking right, and he does the same thing every single time. He turns up, he competes, takes first place, goes home, happy days. He backs it up. He backs it up. And right now, he's looking better than he did at the end of last year. So, yeah. And to sort of back that up as well, I actually think a lot of these athletes look really big, really strong, and have come in prepared. I think, Trey, Evan, Lucas, Nick, Andrade, who else did I write down? Bobby. They all look big and strong, but Mitch is just better than them. He made 2 mistakes on day one. He messed up the clean of the log, took 3rd place in the event, and he dropped the frame carry and won the event. Like, 2 mistakes, and he still takes a 3rd place and a 1st place. That just shows how good he is. Let's not forget that this has been built up as the strongest Arnold's lineup that we've seen in many years, and it still is the strongest Arnold's lineup that we've seen in many years. There's going to be people online when this competition is finished. Oh yeah, well, Tom's been carrying that back injury, and Thor was only going for the 501. If they had been focused, no, you can fuck off, mate. Like, that's not true. They've all come in prepared for this. They've all come in prepared. As soon as this is over, the same people that are saying, oh, you know what, I don't think Mitch is going to win this year because everybody's coming in prepared, will be the same people that say, yeah, well, he had it a bit easy because of this and this and this. He's just fucking won. And I know one of you fuckers at home is probably going to get in the comments and say that I'm glazing, because that's one of the terms that gets thrown about these days. It's not fucking glazing or something else that you like to say. It's just facts that's right in front of us. He's better than everybody else. It's as simple as that. It's not glazing. It's not stroking his ego. I don't need to stroke his ego. He strokes it himself enough. But he backs it up every single time. He backs it up every time. And whether you like him or you don't like him, it's completely up to you. You cannot deny that he's the best strongman in the world. So, yeah, I'm fucking glazing him. I'm absolutely glazing him. And that's absolutely fucking fine. I think Lucas is the only person that can truly challenge him if a few people can get between those two on the... Somebody at the door. Oh, sorry, guys. Somebody knocked at the door asking for Peter. I'm not Peter. But yeah, if somebody can get between Lucas and Mitch on the jar, Lucas obviously winning, then if a couple of people can get in between them, maybe there's a battle on our hands. I don't know. I hope there is. I genuinely hope there is. I don't want Mitch to just keep winning everything. Like, I don't care if he keeps winning everything. He can win every single competition for the rest of the year, for the next 5 years. I don't care. It makes no difference to me. I just want to see a competition. I don't want to watch the first 2 events and be like, right, it's a foregone conclusion, because it does make it boring. It does make it very boring, because you already know who's going to win and you're watching people battle for 2nd place. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below, like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video talking about day 2 of the Arnolds.